100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about Chris Rodriguez out of Kentucky with our NFL Draft Prospect Special. And this one's a long time coming. We've got a long road ahead for this young man, is our host, Mr. Logan Landers. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? Talking some Kentucky Wildcat football today with Chris Rodriguez, an electric running back. I can't wait to talk more about this young man. And, man, this dude is explosive. I can't wait to talk more about his stats and what I like about him.
Absolutely. And we have some, relatively early breaking news, to know about how long it'll be before this young man does enter the actual draft and goes on. He's got a great educational career in front of him. He's got some great football behind him and in front of him in his career. And we just want to hear more about it, which is one of the reasons we do these NFL draft prospect specials, is to keep you informed and let you know what's going on in the world of football. Well, Mr. Logan Landers, tell us, Chris Rodriguez out of Kentucky, what do we have to look forward to in the near and the short term for this young man?
Yeah, man, this dude is consistent, right? So let's go back and let's look at some of the stats. First off, we got to show him a little bit of love. His birthplace is McDonough, Georgia, so shout out to him. Hope he does great. But man, he was impressive at Kentucky. Let's go back to 2018. Didn't see a whole lot, right? His freshman year, barely got on the field, had 2 attempts on the running game. He had 43 yards though and 2 carries. So I mean, that's pretty solid there. Just a very short action on the field, but he made the most of it. Then we go to 2019, got a little bit more work, right? Not the most though. He had 71 rushes for 533 yards, good for 7.5 average per run, so solid there. He got in the end zone 6 times, and he showed just a slight bit of some receiving. Got 1 catch for 2 yards, so not much for the receiving game. But you can see, all right, he's got a little bit of running game to him. 71 carries, 533 yards, not too bad. Let's move on to 2020, the craziest year in football history. He had 119 attempts, so definitely ramped that up. 785 yards, so I would have thought that he could have maybe did a little bit better in terms of yards, but nonetheless, still good for a 6.6 average per rush. 11 total touchdowns, the most in his career. And like I said, not too much in the receiving end, just 1 catch for 12 yards. So then we go to 2021, and he had a tremendous season. He's always shown those kind of flashes of could take it to the next level, right? And boy, did Chris Rodriguez do so in 2021. 225 rushing attempts. So really, they said, it's time for you to shine this year, Chris. And he made the most of it, Jeremiah. 1,379 yards rushing. Good for 6.1 average, 9 touchdowns. And in the receiving game, he stepped it up. 13 catches for 61 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he proved that this past season, look, if you give me the ball a lot, I've got good averages, I've got good speed, I've got good burst. I can get to the end zone whenever I feel like it pretty much. And you say, you know what, I'm going to improve my pass game this year. If you're in the red zone, if you need a little, just something, just throw it out to me, and I can get in there and get some scores also. So I think the passing game, I know they're not amazing numbers, but they still showed that he's able to improve and get that draft stock up more and more. So let's talk more about this young man, his strengths, his weaknesses. Like I said, he is that kind of stockier frame, right? 5'11", 224, 225. And, man, this guy is good. I like Chris Rodriguez, man. So talking about, he's a pretty good receiver in the flat, like I mentioned. Nothing too insane in college, but he's able to get the ball and then really get that running back ability in his nature, right? To just kind of run through guys, to juke them out their shoes, to make them put in a spin cycle, right? He can do a lot of moves. He's got good speed, right? He's not the fastest guy, but he's got very solid speed to get around guys, to keep it moving, and to make them wonder where he went with that good burst. Like I say, he's got good speed. He's got good strength, too, for someone his size. He's a little bit stockier, so you can really just kind of put a shoulder to him, get a nice stiff arm. If you're in the goal line, too, that's when he really kicks it up. If you're inside that red zone on the goal line, I mean, he can really just kind of run through you and get to the end zone, get some points on the board. He's good as a runner. He's solid as a pass blocker, too, which is something that, especially now, a lot of running backs don't do or aren't the best at. That's what Chris Rodriguez kind of excels at. If you need him to block for your quarterback, he's able to do so with that good size and frame on him. like I say, he's not the most explosive player, but he's got that speed to really get past that second level, right? Get past the linebackers and keep it moving into the corners and safeties. So you'd like to see it there. That's why he's got almost a 6.7 point yard average per carry. He's got, like I say, good burst. He doesn't have the best speed, like I mentioned, but he doesn't really ever get caught from behind. So that lets you know that he's got some solid speed to him. And like I said, his blocking is kind of underrated. That's something that a lot of guys don't really tend to talk about. And I think that's one of his better strengths is blocking for the quarterback and making sure he don't get hit. And I mean, if you're doing a good job with that, pretty good chances is that the quarterback's going to make something good happen for you. He fights for extra yards. He's always going to keep pushing, trying to get that extra yard for a first down, for a touchdown, whatever it is. So you like to see that have that fighting mentality for him. And I mean, he's just overall a very solid football player for Kentucky as a running back, and just a few small things he can work on. Because like I said, he's pretty much complete. He's too indecisive sometimes at the line of scrimmage. He can go one way, think it's not the best, maybe go left, and then he wants to go right. And so I think just kind of figuring out just having that one track mentality of just saying, all right, I'm going to go left or I'm going to go right could help him out instead of thinking, just kind of overthinking, just saying, all right, well, there's not much going on over here. Let me switch it around. But then instead of gaining maybe 2 or 3 yards, you gain maybe just one or you don't gain anything. So he could work with that sometimes. And then also, too, he sometimes does lose momentum when he changes direction. So, I mean, if there's a linebacker coming out and he can go left, if he's going right, you know what I mean? But he could lose a little bit of speed, and that could hurt him in terms of just getting caught pretty much. It's not that he's slow. It's just that when he changes direction, that's when he slows up a little bit, and that can allow the linebackers or whoever to really get to him at that point. And like I said, sometimes that indecisiveness, they're saying that he can dance around at the line of scrimmage, just looking for the best hole for him instead of just saying, you know what, I'm just going to run through somebody. I'm just going to push into my big offensive line and see what happens. So, I mean, that's something that I think a lot of running backs can do, especially now, just looking for that big playability, and I mean, no doubt he has it. But I think if he can just focus on maybe get a little bit more speed to him, right, with that change of direction speed, and really just say, you know what, I'm going to just do whatever I can do to get some yards instead of thinking, well, am I going the right way or not? I think that could really help out Chris Rodriguez. But overall, man, I like this guy. He is a solid running back prospect. I would want him on my team, not just as a running back, good in the end zone. He's better. He's getting better and better as a pass blocker, as a pass. And overall, this is a top tier running back prospect. I think he's going to do great in the NFL, and I cannot wait, Jeremiah, to see where he's going to end up in the NFL. He's going to make whoever drafts him a much better franchise. I guarantee it.
Absolutely. And he's going to get as much play time under his belt between now and when he does go into the draft. He's going to be working hard. And, if we do see him back at Kentucky rocking out for another season, it's going to be a great day for all those Kentucky fans out there who are just itching to see another amazing player go on to the NFL. So that's just amazing. And thank you so much, Mr. Logan Landers, for breaking down Chris Rodriguez for Kentucky. Well, if you're watching us live or listening to our podcast, thank you so much, especially if you're listening to our podcast, because we have now over 700 episodes of our podcast out, and they're not just amazing draft prospects. We also cover incredible players. We have incredible interviews. We have awesome history specials where we cover all the older games and incredible teams perspectives from some of the greatest teams in the NFL and in college all through the years. So come and listen to our podcast in the morning on your way to work, while you're at work, on your way home, or if you stay in your car all day when you're a delivery driver or a big rig truck driver or an Uber driver. We will always be with you, whether you listen on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, Amazon, Overcast, your home device, or anywhere that you love to listen to podcasts. You can listen to our over 700 amazing episodes. So we will be here with you, tried and true, with new episodes every week, but also incredible episodes you can listen to over and over again with insane storytelling from just some of the awesome names that we've had in our camp for a long time. So thank you again, Mr. Logan Landers, for that incredible breakdown of NFL draft prospect Chris Rodriguez out of Kentucky. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and we'll be back